we are going to be focusing on back pain in pregnancy. Back pain is not something you can typically avoid in pregnancy. It's kind of inevitable. There's a lot growing and moving forward, so it will probably put stress on your low back. With that said, there could be hundreds of reasons why you're experiencing back pain, and back pain varies, right? It has degrees of can you tolerate it or not so much. Wherever you are on that spectrum of back pain, make sure you're talking to your doctor, OB, or midwife about it. They're the best ones who are able to assess you and help you figure out what exactly is going on. This is just going to be a very general back relief yoga sequence for my pregnant mamas. So come on, let's get ready. All you need today is your block, 2 blocks if you have it, a bolster if you usually use one, and if you don't have a bolster or props, that's okay. Take your time through your series. Just see how you're feeling, and you might need modification throughout. But you can also use a shoebox because an empty shoebox works the exact same way as a block. Without further ado, let's get into it. So place your block for me at the very top of your mat, and we'll start off in a child's pose. I like to start off in child's pose because it gives you a good base as to where you can come back to if you start to get overheated or need to catch your breath. And for this specific reason of back pain, focusing on back pain, child's pose is incredibly good. It's incredibly restorative for the low back. Just come down as far as you can, minding where baby is. And of course, you can take your forehead to your bolster or your block in front of you to help relieve any neck tightness. But right away, once you land in this child's pose, you're gonna feel your low back decompressing. I can feel it in my own body right now. And it can be an intense feeling depending if you're sitting or standing all day, right? And I want you to breathe in through your nose and exhale it out. And as you're breathing in, just send that breath to your low back. You can stay propped up on your forearms like this, or you can go right down. So I want you to relax your belly muscles as well. And for the sake of our pelvic floor, mindful if your pelvic floor is already tight or not tight, or you're not sure, I want you to release and let go of your pelvic floor. So that feels like blooming outward. Yeah, releasing. Thinking about the center of your base as a flower blooming outward. It's a really common way of describing that sensation. Bloom out. And that's what we want to do. We want to practice that on our inhale. So inhale, relax, release. Exhale, start to hug in your belly muscles. And then breathe in, relax, release, allow baby to fall towards your mat. And then on the exhale, hug baby up and in towards your spine. Let it go on your inhale. Exhale, hug baby up and in using the core muscles. And you might notice, keep doing that, as you work on that core engagement, you're gonna feel your low back. You're gonna feel your low back. You're gonna feel your low back brace, and you're gonna feel it relax as you turn on the core and let it go. And see, the thing is with back pain, back tightness, is the more baby grows, we don't have that much strength in our core naturally, or we're not focusing on core strength. So because your core is not as strong, that's why your back is hurting you. That's why your back is compensating for the core muscles. So it's interesting to connect the core, brace it, and you'll feel that in your low back, and then relax the core. Yeah. Anyway, it's just like an interesting little practice. So we've sat here long enough, I think. Some of you maybe already have come out of it. We'll come back to our knees, tabletop. Okay, move your block or your supports out of the way. Really nice movement here, just simply going back and forth. So rocking your upper body from side to side, creating a C shape one way and a C shape the other way, opening up the obliques, opening up the side body. Ooh. Yeah, you can do this for as long as it feels good. In my pregnancy, I used to do this like every morning. I'd wake up and I'd have a little sticker on my mirror in the morning. I'd brush my teeth and be like, oh yeah, okay, take like 30 seconds and just stretch. Okay, back to center. Let's do some cat-cows. Shift your wrists underneath your shoulders, press into your mat. Depending how far along in your pregnancy, you might want to stay in the neutral spine and just focus on cat. Okay, if you want more, dip your belly low. But if your back already does that naturally, you might want to stay in that neutral. So exhale, come back to table. Inhale to cat. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, exhale. Brace the core, and then release, send your spine up. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. Send your knees back, sit into your heels. Okay, walk your hands out enough just to support you. Take your shoulders away from your ears, like upper body. Okay, rely on a little bit of your elbows, bend the elbows. And then focusing on the back of your mat, your feet, pedal out your feet. And pedal out the feet. Place both feet down to your mat. Lift your heels together. And exhale them down to the floor. One more, breathe in your heels together. Exhale them down to the floor. I'm gonna give you guys an option here. Bring your feet to touch, maybe walk yourself a little bit higher up. Take your right leg up to the sky for three-legged dog. What I want us to do is bend the knee and just circle open the hip. Now, depending on your comfort level, you can do this down on your knees, okay? So I want you to open up the hips, so you're modifying back to table, rounding open the hips, or if you're feeling like you want a little more today, do it in a down dog. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Release. Maybe take a break. Come down to table. If you were already in table, start those circles, drawing the knee up and back and around. And if you want your down dog, bend the knee, send it up to the sky, and then create those circles, hugging in, open, down, open. One more. Okay, perfect. Come down to your child's pose, knees open, but I want you guys to sit back into your heels. So don't go into your full child's. Okay, take a breath in together. Let it go, hands to baby. And from here, take your hands to your hips. Roll out your hips one way, and you can come up to your toes. So wherever you feel comfortable. Roll those hips. You want to intentionally send the tailbone forward. Pause and then send it the other way. So whether you're up on your knees or sitting down, it's going to feel really good to get the low pelvis moving in this way. Really cool. Ooh, all right. Okay, we're ready to move. Bring your knees a little closer together. Tuck those toes underneath you. Take your right foot forward. Okay. Interlace your fingers together. Press into your heel, thigh. Warrior one. Okay, send the tailbone forward. Okay, stay here for a breath in. Stay for your exhale. One more, breathe in. Warrior two. Reach forward, extended side angle. And what I want you guys to do, I'll do this with you facing you guys, so you don't see my back. Take your top hand up and over. Yeah, feel the lengthening through your side body here. Press into both heels equally, hug in your inner thighs. Deep breath in. Let it go. Deep breath in, open up the chest as you send your arm back. Let it go. Last one, spiral your heart to the sky. And take your hands to your hip, come all the way up. Okay, turn your toes in now. Fold forward over your feet. Take your hands to your mat or the floor. And I want you to take a nice forward fold, relieving your low back. Soft bend in the knees. Come up to your fingertips, look up, breathe in. And then like water, fold forward, melt your upper body down. Again, breathe in, come up. Exhale, flow down. One more, breathe in, look up. And flow down. Okay, look at your right foot. Bend into your right foot while you're holding yourself up, looking forward. And then bend into the other side. Let's do that again. Shift sides. And then other side. Awesome. Take yourself back to center. Hands to your thighs. Bend those knees. Come all the way up to a stand. Toe heel your feet in together. Come to the back of your mat. And we'll come down to our knees. We'll do that again. Okay? Left side forward. Left foot in front of you. Interlace your fingers, press into your thigh. Warrior one. Hips are forward. Scoop your tailbone underneath you. Relax the low back in that way. So imagining all day if baby's coming forward, everything's moving forward and up, okay? Your back is gonna naturally curve, so I always say, hug the tailbone in. Use those core muscles, you totally can, right? Arms up. Let it go. Last one, breathe in. And then open up to warrior two. Now hips are open. Okay, hands out in front of you. Reach forward, extended side angle. And sweep the arm up and over your head. Same idea here. Option to spiral your heart to the sky. That feels good. Stretch open. Breathing in. And letting go. Breathing in and exhaling. Okay, hand to your hip, come all the way up, take your time. I want you to toe heel your foot now to the top of your mat. Bolster, block, or whatever support is underneath you. I'm gonna take my bolster. It's a little low, but if you have something a little higher, a pillow, a firm pillow, block's good too. We're gonna open up the knees, open up the feet, and you're gonna sit nice and low to your goddess squat, making sure you feel comfortable, okay? You can do this up against the wall as well. So if you're like, oh, I feel a little bit off, stand up, go next to the wall. That's a good option too. I just want you guys to come into a really, really deep hip opener, okay? And just stay here. Notice how your body's reacting. Do you feel tight and tense? This is a very vulnerable position, right? Very vulnerable. We're not in this position a whole lot. So it's really normal for our body to stiffen in fear, right? Birthing is not gonna be, I don't know, I did it twice and it's still pretty like, whoa. It's a lot, right? Mentally. Notice how your body reacts and do the opposite. Try to tell your body right now that in this position, in a vulnerable state, you can breathe through it. Even if you're planning a C-section, staying in a position like this, it opens up your mind to that vulnerability, right? We carry a lot of emotions in our hips. There's a lot going on. There's a lot changing, moving around, right? So breathe into it. Breathe into what you're feeling. Thinking about the pelvic floor again. Bloom down towards the floor. Relax your low back. Take one breath in and let it go. All right, we're out of here now. Take your fingertips forward. Best way to get out of this. Send your hips up very, very slowly, and at any point you can take your knees back down to the floor. Awesome. I want us to do a reverse. I want to stretch that out and kind of balance out that stretch. It's a really deep hip opener. So take your feet out in front of you when you're ready, hands facing you. Sway your knees from side to side. Relax and release your low back. And at the same time, you're rolling into your glutes. Massage it out. Yeah, oof. If you're feeling like you're massaging your own body, it's because you are. Add a little love there. So good. All right, reverse table. So walk your feet in, hands down, lift up your hips. Okay, press into the floor. Send your hips to your heels. Then come up again. So 2 more times. Hips to your heels. Then come up. Last one. Beautiful. Legs go out in front of you. Help yourself up. Turn your feet out. Rock out your feet to massage out those hips. We're going to do pigeon pose, one of my favorites. Very intense, so use your props. Make sure you have a block or a bolster underneath your bum. If you know that you do not want to do this, I'm going to show it to you first. If you know you don't want to do this, you're like, oh, I've done that and it really bothers my knees, your other option is double pigeon. Okay, something like this. You can sit like that, working on that hip stretch in that way. You are more than welcome to come into pigeon, but if your hips are up to the sky, use a pillow, blanket, bolster, block underneath you. We want to make sure our ankle, our front ankle, is up, okay? And then take yourself down if that fits. If not, stay lifted. We won't stay here long, but I want you guys to know anytime we hold poses like this, minimum like 3 to 5 minutes. We're pregnant, well I'm not, you are, but I want us to also know we have relaxin in our bodies, the hormones that allow us to stretch and feel more flexible. So keeping that in mind, you probably don't need to stay here for that long. 10 to 15 breaths is more than enough. Because you're probably already feeling a little more capable, a little more flexible, and just being aware, right? We don't want to overstretch. So 2 more breaths, breathe in. Let it go. Last one. Amazing. Release the block underneath your hip. Whatever you've got underneath your hips, remove it. If you are in your double, okay, take your legs out in front of you, give them a little shake, and then switch it, right? Do this one. If you are joining me on the other side pigeon, ooh, let's even it out. See, my hip can go to the floor because I've been doing this a while, but if my hips were not comfortable here, I would notice my hip coming up. That's where I want to sit into a block. So focus on breath. Again, another vulnerable position. I'm going to breathe through that fear. I'm going to breathe through what I make these poses mean. What do I need to learn in this moment of fear or vulnerability? And the first thing that always comes up in my mind is, I'm capable. I've got everything I need. I am capable. Don't doubt yourself. Okay, take those pillows, bolsters, blocks, whatever you got, you know what I mean. Take them away, even if you're in your stacked. Take your legs out in front of you one more time. Give them a shake. Invite your right knee in towards you, just off to the side. Okay, hug in your knee. Gently coming up nice and tall. Brace your core, breathe in. And on your exhale, gently spiral your spine, rinsing out through your bra line area, mid-back. Gentle twist. Then coming forward, release it, come into the other side, hug your hip bone in, hug your knee. And when you feel ready, hands behind you for support, gently look over your shoulder. And come forward. We're going to lay on our side, taking a pillow, blanket, bolster, blocks. I'm going to say it all because you could literally have any props. Take it between your knees. If you have a second, place it underneath your head or even your hands underneath your head. And if you have a free hand, take it to baby. And just gently rub your belly. You did it, mama. You did it. You earned this rest. Take into consideration you are doing it every single day. You're doing the work. And every single day, you deserve rest. You can stay here as long as you need to. When you're ready, push yourself up, but there's no need to end your own practice now. Stay in your Savasana as long as you need to. If you're ready to close your practice with me, join me. Either way, acknowledge yourself for your practice, acknowledge yourself for how far you've come up until this moment. I acknowledge you for where you're at, and thank you for joining me so much. Hands to your forehead. Namaste. Thank you, Mama. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you